Roanoke basketball got its start in 1911, becoming one of the first colleges in the state to start the sport, but wasn't accepted right away.
But the idea of a manly man of 1910 standing in short pants, bouncing a ball inside on a floor was not very appealing. So there's a certain curve here that they had to get over.
With the arrival of Guy Pinky Spruhan in 1913, Maroon basketball quickly took off.
He stays on until 1930, which is a remarkable reign for college coaches any place in the country, probably at this time period. So we're indebted to him for that kind of legacy. By 1916, the Maroons are undefeated and self-proclaimed state champs, 9-0, which is a whole season's work at that point. And when Pinky then retires in 1930, it's Pap White who then is given the honor to take over the program at that point. And Pap is with us then through the 30s, and a new gym that year as well. So the alumni gym is opened at that point.
By the 1930s, Roanoke basketball is on the state and regional map, but it received national attention by the late 1930s, when the 5 Smart Boys produced one of the best 3-year runs in program history.
And they are as good as anybody. I think their record was 68-11, a couple of postseason tournament bids, even to the fledgling NIT in 1939.
When they went to the NIT, it was something, because in those years, it was before the NCAA tournament, and they had 6 teams invited.
So as famous a group and as famous a record and a run as I think we would ever know in any sport at Roanoke.
The 5 Smart Boys will forever be linked with Roanoke College and the history of the men's basketball program. The Buddy Hackman era spanned a quarter of a century, which marked several conference championships, 1,000-point scorers, and All-Americans.
Perhaps the greatest basketball moment, too, would be the 16-1 team of the 1947-48 Roanoke Maroons, again state champions, lost only to Virginia Tech and only by a point.
Bringing back a Virginia State championship after taking a 2-year break definitely made the basketball program the biggest sport on campus.
You certainly felt like that the programs were growing. Buddy Hackman every year seemed to get a higher class of athlete coming down to Roanoke College. The fan base and the news media, they were all very excited about basketball in the 50s.
The relationships he had with his players reveal the true legacy of his tenure.
It was the first time that the school had ever allowed him to have an assistant. And he wanted me to stay up here and help him coach. He said, I just gave you a 4-year education and you're going to graduate and you're going to stay up here and help me. And I said, yes, sir. Without a doubt. And he and I got to be just really, really good friends.
In my estimation, Buddy Hackman was a man's man.
He was one of the most dedicated people I've ever seen in my life.
Coach Hackman had something about him that you wanted to play for him.
Buddy Hackman was again an important part of the coaching legacy that the Maroons have enjoyed these past 100 years.
When Charlie Moyer first arrived on campus in 1967, he had institutional support, in addition to athletic director Buddy Hackman, to make basketball a big name in the Roanoke Valley.
The first year I was here, we moved to the Civic Center. They were getting buses to get the students to the Civic Center, so we had great support.
By the end of Charlie Moyer's first season, the Maroons became a big name in the Roanoke Valley, winning the Mason-Dixon Conference Tournament Championship and the first ever NCAA tournament bid.
We got off to a good start. It enabled us to recruit some outstanding players for this level, and it's just an exciting time.
The Maroons called the Salem Civic Center home for 10 seasons, and in no time, Roanoke was the biggest event in town. In just 5 seasons, Moyer's vision was realized, winning the 1972 NCAA College Division National Championship.
Just an overwhelming experience. And still today, sometimes it's hard to believe. I'm just so glad to be a part of it.
Moyer's 6-year run at Roanoke College began with the recruitment of Frankie Allen.
And we were just a group of guys that really pulled for one another. There were no animosities or jealousies, and And we just kind of went out there, and our number one goal was to go out and win. And whatever we could do to help us win basketball games, that's what we did.
Sullivan gets it into Allen. He gets a shot up, and it's good, and he's fouled.
His success brought in more touted recruits.
Frankie meant a lot to the program. It's unfortunate he didn't get to play in a national championship because he did help us in recruiting tremendously.
I started Roanoke after Frankie's freshman year and after Coach Moyer had been here for a year. With the success they had, that was very instrumental on why I chose to come play for Roanoke College.
Sydney, Roanoke College with the ball. Here's a high post pass from Johnston to Allen. Back to Johnston from outside, and he hits.
We were very close-knit, and I think most teams that are successful, if you look back on it, you know, your players have got to be a close-knit group. And, Gene and Steve, and then the next year Hal came in and George Seals. I mean, we were just a team in every essence, in every sense of the word.
And it was a total commitment by Roanoke College at that time to, hey, we want to bring college basketball to a higher level.
The next 3 years, the Maroons were no longer title contenders, and the college moved to Division III. Then hired a man that sparked a remarkable turnaround for Maroon basketball.
When Dr. Fentel told me that he was going to name me the head men's basketball coach, I about fell off the chair. I could not believe it. I was looking forward to getting out on the road and starting recruiting for Roanoke College.
The turnaround started with his first recruiting class in 1977. That would bring back the excitement on campus.
Oftentimes people label us as the Four Horsemen. That's myself, Michael Baker, Michael Stiles, and Bruce Hembry.
I knew they were good kids of good character. I knew they were winners. But what I didn't really realize is what the heart they have.
This special group finished 74-9 in their final 3 years, thus completing their turnaround and a successful transition into Division III by 1981.
From there, guys like Tony Bond, Gerald Holmes, Donnie Morris, and so forth began to carry on that tradition in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference.
Over the next 2 seasons, the Maroons went deep in the NCAA Division III National Tournament, making it to the Final Four in 1983, defeating Clark University in the national quarterfinals. They finished with a school record 31 wins and continued the winning tradition into the 80s.
It was something about that Roanoke pride that we had. The guys who came in, that's something they brought with them, and it was an easy fit for the kids that were already here.
During Ed Green's tenure, Roanoke College captured 7 straight ODAC championships, advanced to the NCAA tournament 8 times, and brought back the winning attitude for the storied basketball program.
It wasn't about the regular season, it was about us winning championships. And I think that edge, that bond that we had was all about being competitive and wanting to be the best.
You just can't say enough good about Ed Green and what he did to rebuild the Roanoke College basketball program during his tenure here.
When Paige Moyer became head coach in 1989, he made sure that he told his kids about the history with the alumni that donned the maroon and white.
We always felt like we were connected to the guys before us. And, I owe a lot, to him for doing that.
The tradition at Roanoke College, you grow up, you hear the names, and you see them win championships. When you get there, there's a level of expectation and a level of tradition that Coach Moyer presents to you guys when you first walk in.
In a quarter century at Roanoke, Moyer led the Maroons to 3 ODAC championships and 6 NCAA tournament appearances. He is both the school and Old Dominion Athletic Conference career wins leader.
When you walk into that gym and you see the banners lining the ceiling and the walls and the trophy cases, it's pretty intimidating for an opponent to come in and all they see outside of baskets are banners.
While he constantly celebrates the past, he is looking ahead to the future of Roanoke College basketball.
Well, I think now that we've hit 100 years, it's time for us to look to the future where we can develop more great people, more great teams, and make the Roanoke College spirit live in success as it should.
It's amazing when you look back. It's as old a program as almost any in in the country.
When I was a student here is when I really fell in love with Roanoke College basketball. And the 40-some years since, it's never let me down.
Well, I'm proud to say that I was a part of the 100 years of Roanoke College basketball.
There's definitely a pride for being a Roanoke College Maroon.
I congratulate every athlete, every coach, every mom and dad who came to games, all the alums who cheered for the Maroons through the years. For 100 years of basketball at Roanoke College. Thanks to all of you.